Hey guys, welcome back to 𝘿𝙚𝙠𝓱𝓻𝓸. Today we have a new deck for called the Synchro Cider featuring the new Claydol from Brilliant Stars with the coinciding figures attack doing 90 base damage plus 90 more if you have the same number of Pokemons on your bench as your opponent. For 3 energy costs, we actually need 1 Psychic and 2 Colorless to satisfy the attack cost, so it's quite heavy. So how do we achieve that? We have 4 copies of Twin Energy and 7 copies of our basic Psychic Energy. No double turbo just because we actually get to do a raw 180 damage with this attack without reducing damage done by this Pokemon by 20, which is the bad thing about double turbo. We have no choice belt in this deck as well, but we have instead our Experience Share 2 copies and 2 Raihan to help us fast charge, turbo charge the next Claydol, get the next one ready to go to attack immediately after the first one gets knocked out. We want to be attacking non-stop consistently with our Claydol, coinciding figures doing 180 damage continuously. So we also have our Flapple to help us control the number of cards on our bench. So managing the number of Pokemons on our bench is quite difficult if our opponent choose to bench their Pokemon cards in a very careful manner. If they force us to do 90 base with this attack, that's super bad. If they play 𝘿𝙚𝓬𝓱𝓻𝓸 VMAX, we can't win that easily. If they choose not to bench any Pokemons at all from the get-go, if they play decks like Metagross VMAX or Victini, if they don't have any bench Pokemon at all, then we can't actually do 180 damage, because if we do that passing the turn, they're gonna knock out our 1 prize card with no bench. That means they win the game already. So we can't actually afford to have no bench Pokemon at all. So that's the bad thing about Claydol, is that if your opponent bench no cards and have a VMAX in their active spot, then you can't actually win with a Claydol deck unless you have an alternate attacker. So the reason we have our Flapple is because we actually get to control loosen our bench. So it's actually a loose Pokemon on the bench. You get to either shuffle it back into the deck, or you get to have it stay on your bench to help you do extra damage with this attack. 180 for 3 energy is not bad for stage 1. So we also have our Snorlax to help us draw cards as well. Gormandize 2 copies to help us draw up to, we have 7 cards in our hand passing the turn. We have our regular supporter cards, 1 Bruno, 1 Cynthia, very good for a 1 prize deck, and the usual 3 copies of Marnie, 3 Research, and 1 Shauna, plus 2 Bird Keepers to help us switch our Pokemon from the active spot. If we have Snorlax stuck in the active spot, we actually get to do Bird Keeper, draw 3 cards, and then attack with the bench Claydol immediately after that. And we also have 2 Scoop Banette to help us attack after Gormandize, or even to scoop up any one of our bench Pokemon, helping us reduce that number, doing coinciding figures for 180 damage if they have less Pokemons on their bench. So playing this attack is actually very difficult because we need to be able to control the number of Pokemon cards on our bench in a very specific manner. If they bench only 3, we have to have exactly 3 Pokemons on our bench to do that much damage. So Collapse Stadium is going to help us by restricting both players' bench Pokemons down to 4 cards. That means they can't actually bench that many, and we don't have to bench that many as well. So we have 4 VIP Pass, 4 Quick Ball, and 2 Level Ball to help us summon our basic Pokemons fast. We want to be benching as many Applins as early on as possible so that we get to do extra damage to our opponent's Pokemon with Apple Drop plus 180 damage. We actually get to do a 1-hit knockout on any V card using our Apple's ability. We also have 4 Evolution Incense to evolve our Claydol, 2 Level Ball to evolve our Flapple, and 4 Incense for that as well. We have 1 Manaphy to help us protect our bench, 1 Boss Order, and 1 Rod to help us shuffle back our Pokemon. So that's all for the deck list. That's great for gameplay. Okay, let's go for our first game versus a Charizard deck. A Charizard coin and a deck box as well. Very obviously a Charizard. I think it's a theme one. I think they're trying to kill us with a 1 prize Battle Sense deck. Royal Blaze, my bad. There we go. Manaphy with Charmander already. First one. And we got a VIP pass, that's great. We're gonna VIP for 1 of each. We're gonna get another Apple. I don't think we're gonna get... Oh, we actually got a Baltoy because they have to bench Charmander, right? We have to bench at least 2 Charmander. That means we just need to scoop up net. We just need to scoop up the Snorlax. We actually get to do 180 damage unless they don't bench another basic. They're probably gonna have to bench the second Charizard because they're probably afraid of a boss order. We can quite easily boss the Charmander right now if they don't do that. So they have no choice but to bench extra copies of their main attacker. Otherwise, they have nothing to attack with. Charizard, Charmander can't actually attack that easily. It doesn't do enough damage to knock out our Claydol. Claydol is only 110 HP, so not a lot, but it's still enough to survive a Charmander or even a Charmeleon. So they can't attack with anything else, so that's why they are forced to bench a second one. And we actually get to, you know, we actually have extra space on our bench. So it's always bad if your opponent choose not to bench that many. If your opponent plays a very tricky move, if they choose to be smart, like really annoying, sometimes they can actually choose to do that. Force you to bench, control the number of Pokemons on your bench, and you can't actually play that many Claydols because if you have too many copies, you can't actually shuffle them back. You can't do 180 damage. Okay, we're gonna scoop up Snorlax, collect the neck, do a first knockout with our first hit, coinciding figures. We're gonna quick ball for another Applin. We're gonna do our first apple drop on the bench Charmander probably. Place 2 damage counters right now. We can actually do it later though, but let's just do it right now. Oh, we don't actually need the extra damage, just because Manaphy is only 70 HP. So we don't need to do 180. But against the Charizard though, we need to. So I'm not sure if it's wise to use it right now. If we don't, they're probably gonna Avery, right? Avery is gonna force us to discard either the Snorlax or an Apple. And I don't want to discard the Applin. We only have 3 copies, so I don't really want to waste them. Okay, Rare Candy. If they play a Raihan, they can attack this turn, which is horrible. So fingers crossed they don't get a Raihan. Okay, they played a Leon. Look at that. No Raihan. That's great. Good news. That is amazing. And they just Battle Sensed and pass the turn. Not even a retreat. No switch. So we actually get to Apple drop right now. And then reduce our Pokemon cards on the bench down to 2 cards. Same as our opponent. That means we actually get to do 180 this turn with our coinciding figures. Claydol, look at that. Killing a Charizard with 1 hit. Stage 2. Phew, that was close. If it's a V card, we can actually do Apple Drop to collect the knockout. So Apple Drop does 2 damage counters, bit by bit killing off the active V card. And then on our next hit, we can actually target a new V with our second coinciding figures attack. So that's the power of Claydol. That's the power of the synergy between Claydol and Flapple. 180 is not quite enough to kill a V card. Normally it's 220, so we need actually 2 copies of Flapple in play. Twice of the ability. Okay, they got 1 Charmander left. We actually need to scoop it up to kill the Snorlax. Scoop up the probably the Snorlax, right? And they just conceded though. They just conceded, gave up. If they bench another, we can actually knock out the active already. If they don't bench a second Charmander, we can actually do a boss order quite easily. If we boss that one, we don't need to have the same bench Pokemons, because 90 damage is enough. 90 base can actually knock out a Charmander already. So sometimes you don't need to be bothered about having the same number of Pokemons on your bench as your opponent. Sometimes it's not necessary, but most times though, it's better to do so. It's better to keep your eyes wide open. If it's the same, you get to do 180, which is a lot, especially against V cards, VMAX decks, V star. You need to be targeting, doing as high damage as you can, as much damage as possible. So we got a second 𝘿𝐿𝐼. We're just gonna bench that because they have 2 cards. Oh, we chose not to, because they could play Avery. If they play Avery, we're forced to discard the second 𝘿𝐿𝐼. I don't think they can do a knockout this turn, so that's why I didn't bench that. If they do a boss, they can't knock out the 𝘿𝐿𝐼, because Gossifleur is only doing 10 damage, 20 hitting the weakness. 𝘿𝐿𝐼 is actually a ground type. We can actually play the Psychic 𝘿𝐼, but that's actually lower HP. It's only 50 HP if I'm not mistaken. There is a 60 HP one, I think, from Rebel Clash. I'm not sure what expansion that is, but the highest HP 𝘿𝐼 is the ground type with 70 HP. Not sure what expansion as well. It has the spin attack doing 10 damage. I'm not sure what... Is it spin? I can't see, sorry guys. So they gave us a Turf Field. So they're playing a Butterfree VMAX deck. Turf Field actually helps us evolve our Flapple every single turn, which is great. But we may need to kick out that stadium to help us confine bench cards on both players' side with that collapse stadium. If we collapse, we can actually do more damage with Claydol, and sometimes that may be necessary. And I actually chose to do that because I was preparing for Dizzying Poison I chose to not evolve, but I forgot actually at the last moment. Initially I chose not to evolve so that I get to do 10 damage with Baltoy, and then evolve to remove the special condition if they do Butterfree, Dizzying Poison, because they can actually do the Dizzy, confuse your active, and then you can't actually attack with Claydol that easily. So it may be smarter to just attack with Baltoy just now. But they can quite easily do a Marnie. If they do a Marnie, we don't have anything in our hand. We can't evolve, we can't attack. We can't do coinciding figures. We can't use Flapple. Oh, but we have evolution from the deck though. Turffield Stadium. Okay, they are doing Blessing of the Fluff. Very interesting. Charging energies, charging their VMAX with the old Sword and Shield card, Eldegoss, the very first expansion from Sword and Shield, the one from the Rillaboom theme deck, and they got 3 energies in. Okay, really hoping for that boss order right now, but oh well. We're just gonna boss the next turn. We're gonna evolve Flapple right now, and then possibly get another. We should be retreating though. If we retreat, we can actually attack more often because we only have 3 copies to spare. We only have 3 Claydols in this deck. I'm sad to say, I'm sorry to say, but 3 is actually enough if you can target the right Pokemon at the right time. And we have that 1 route to shuffle back, 1 copy as well. So we essentially have 4 strikes if it survives. If you get to hit it fast enough, that's why we have so many VIP and so many Raihan, Experience Share, Twin Energy. So that actually helps you do a turbo, accelerate your draw and evolve fast and attack fast. If you can attack fast, you may be able to survive the first hit. If it doesn't, then at least maybe the next one can survive. So if you can collect 2 prizes for each Claydol, then that would be ideal because we only have 3 copies to spare. But we can attack with Snorlax. We can attach Experience Share to Snorlax, do Twin Energy for Body Slam. 100 damage is not bad. If you did 180, you can actually do 100 damage to collect the knockout, plus your Apple drop as well, let's not forget. So 180 plus 100, that's 280. That means you just need like 2 or 3 Flapples to collect a VMAX knockout. If it's a V-Star, you can kill it already. You just need to Body Slam and that's it. So that's the power of Snorlax. Don't forget, don't underestimate that card. You can still attack with it. Use your Experience Share Raihan at the right time. Don't neglect your Snorlax. Okay, they just killed our first Snorlax. We have another copy inside the deck. We're just gonna do coinciding figures right now. Evolve the Flapple, target the Eldegoss probably, and then level ball for another one. Oh, we actually can't use level ball though, because if we bench another one, we can't do 180. So we are forced to shuffle back and have no other Applins on our bench. We got a Raihan though. If we do a boss right now, we can kill the Kricketune, but we still need 2 strikes to kill the Butterfree, which is not good. So let's just kill the Butterfree right now. Let's target a Butterfree, attach our Experience Share, that's great. We got to use our Cynthia at the right time. And let's do Apple Drop on the Eldegoss, because we are collecting an extra prize. If they bench another 1 prize, they're probably not going to bench a Gossifleur, right? If they bench something else, like a what's it called again? Grookey or something like that, then we can actually collect the last prize with our Apple Drop. So we just need to kill the VMAX, 1 Eldegoss, and one more Gossifleur, baby. You never know if they're gonna bench that. So they're playing a second Butterfree, which is horrible. They can actually retreat because Butterfree has 0 retreat. It's super light, super agile. Okay, they may do. Oh, I thought they're gonna retreat to Kricketune to draw 4 cards. Draw 3 cards, my bad. But they're just gonna do Blessing on the Fluff. Blessing on the second Butterfree. And they get to evolve with Turffield on the next turn, which is horrible. That means they get to attack with a second VMAX, forcing us to kill 2 VMAX for the win. So let's do our first boss order. Let's just do our boss order right now. Target the Butterfree as early, while we can, so that we get to do Raihan on the next turn. If they don't Marnie us, we can actually do, if they Marnie, let's hope we get a Twin Energy. I mean, we have 2 more copies inside the deck, I think. 2 more Twin Energies. It could be in the prize card though. So let's boss the basic Butterfree right now. If they evolve, we can actually collect 3 prize. Doing a second Claydol, hitting with the second Claydol. If we get either the Twin or Raihan, fingers crossed we get to do a Raihan on the next turn. I mean, it won't be that difficult, right? Let's hope they don't play a Marnie. Like, please don't play a Marnie. If we have a Flapple on our last turn, if we could bench an Applin, then that Butterfree would have been dead. That Butterfree would have died. And they just played a Marnie. Holy crap. That's horrible. Holy crap. Okay, we're gonna bench another Applin and then collapse Stadium. We should be attaching the energies, but we may get... this is a bit tricky now. We may get a Twin with Marnie, so are we gonna attach the energy first or after the Marnie? If we attach, we cannot attack. Do we want to attack? They're gonna evolve right now, so we have no choice but to attach after the Marnie to search for a Twin Energy. If we don't get a Twin, we're done for. We got an experience share, but it's not quite enough. And they chose not to evolve though, look at that. They chose not to evolve because I think they're trying to confine the number of prize, force us to get the boss order for the last knockout. But we can't do Apple Drop though, they completely dismissed our Flapple. Because right now we could do a Apple Drop for 22 extra damage counters, and that's enough to knock out the Butterfree. So they're giving us free 2 prize, which is quite ridiculous. We should have actually attached our energy right now. We got greedy and decided not to. We can't even do that much damage anyways, because we need to bench 2 more cards after the Flapple. So we need 2 basic and a Twin Energy from that Marnie, and Marnie is not going to give us that many things. Marnie is horrible. Marnie is always trying to screw you over. So never expect too much from a Marnie. Never expect anything, to be honest. And we got nothing as expected. We got 1 basic though at least. I'm just going to discard Marnie because she's very annoying. The most frustrating card ever in format. And we're just going to offer up the second Applin as the active. Kill off this one right now. We should have done the ability first and then do the Marnie after, but I was hoping for a Twin Energy though. If you shuffle back before doing the Marnie, you may actually draw back the Applin, right? So, oh well, at least we get to do Raihan right now, and maybe fish for a boss order. We should be fishing for a Twin Energy. But if we get 2 more Applin, if we get 2 more Flapple, we can kill the Eldegoss and then Kricketune, and that's it. We just need to kill another V card and the 1 prize on the bench. Or we can just target a VMAX. They may play a Cheryl at the last minute. Cheryl and then Blessing on the Fluff. That's gonna be bad. That means we have to focus on killing the Kricketune, and then if they Cheryl, they can actually heal from the Eldegoss as well. So that's not good though, because we're placing damage counters very slowly, 2 or 4 at a time, sometimes even 0. And they just did that. Oh my god, they're gonna retreat and kill the Claydol right now. So we got our final Claydol with the Raihan. They did a boss, that means they can't do a Marnie. We finally got the Raihan, that means we get to attack on the next turn. If we can bench enough Pokemons, we need to bench 3 more, so I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible to do 180, but I think it's enough to kill the Butterfree though. 90 damage is enough just because we have our Apple Drop. So Butterfree is the lowest HP VMAX, that means we just need a Twin now. Let's hope we get a Twin inside the deck. We got 1 Twin, the other copy, we have 2 more actually, 1 more copy is in the prize. So now we just need to Apple Drop twice. We actually got the knockout here, but I didn't realize it yet. I haven't realized it yet. As you see, I'm a bit disappointed. My gesture of card draw is a bit disappointed to begin with. But eventually I got to the point where I realized I could actually do a knockout right now. Because Butterfree is only 120 HP remaining, 300 HP for a VMAX, and that means we get to Apple Drop twice for up to 130 damage this turn. Because 90 plus 4 damage counters, that's 130, plus 180, that's 310. We get to knock out a Mew VMAX without Oricorio. If they don't play Oricorio, we can actually kill a Mew VMAX with twice, 2 strikes of coinciding figures. One with the damage boost and one without, because we can actually do Apple Drop for the extra, to do extra damage counters. So 2 Apple Drop, 190 and 180, that's enough for 310 HP knockout. Okay, let's focus on this game right now. We actually have a Necrozma coin for our Psychic Pokemon, for our Claydol. Necrozma, the old Sun and Moon theme deck, the theme expansion. Ultra Prism, I think. And we have the Grass deck sleeve with our Celebrations box. They have an a Senti-Scorch, I think. Senti-Scorch deck sleeve and box. Oh, it's a Rayquaza. Is it a Mega Rayquaza? I'm not sure what that is actually. I don't think it's a Senti-Scorch because it's green. Green should be Rayquaza, right? Emerald. Okay, they got a Grass type. Another Grass type. We just faced a Butterfree and now we're up against another Grass. Okay, let's see what they're playing. They got a Rowlet coin. A Rowlet coin. Hisuian Decidueye is gonna be introduced on the next set. I'm so excited because the one price is so cool though. You're gonna do 30x damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. The V star is quite silly. If you ask me, in my opinion, it's a bit silly. Because you only get to do up to 250, you have to discard 3 energy cards from your hand, and you get to do a max of 250 damage with your attack. Plus Choice Belt is actually enough to kill a V-Star, but if they play Big Charm, you can't actually kill your opponent's V-Star Pokemon with a Big Charm attached. Okay, they're playing Rowlet Decidueye with Celebi, quite possibly a VMAX to heal their Pokemon. Max Curate. I forgot what. Curative Forest, I think. Max Plant and Curative Forest. Okay, we're gonna do Quick Ball for. We should be getting Manaphy because they are targeting our bench. They're sniping with Decidueye. So we have to get a second Belltoy. We have to think about our Manaphy as well. Our next Claydol. So are we gonna play our Quick Ball Gormandize or are we just gonna Gormandize? We should be doing Quick Ball. Let's just discard a boss. I don't think we need a boss for this game. I honestly don't think so. We may need it though. Let's just discard Raihan. If we get to boss the Celebi on the next turn, let's do it. Yeah, I think that would be smarter. Let's keep the boss. I mean, never discard your boss. I think that's like the golden rule. If you're only playing one copy, you only have one copy in this deck. Because we can't fit enough. Claydol needs too many things. You need a lot of different cards for your attack to work, for the attack to do as high damage as it can, for the max potential to be achieved. Okay, now we got our Scoop Up Net, Ball Sorter, we just need a Psychic Energy. If we got a Psychic from the top deck, we can actually kill the Celebi on the next turn, unless they evolve. They can't evolve on the first turn though. And we got a Psychic Energy, look at that. They passed the turn not doing anything. They didn't do a Marnie, fortunately, because they could have quite easily destroyed our hand with that one supporter card. And we got a Flapple. We got our Scoop Up Net. We get to basically Apple Drop. It's just nice though. Look at that. It's just nice. Because we actually have just the right amount of cards in our hand. Just the right cards to pull off a Celebi knockout this turn. Because if we don't have a Flapple, we can't do it. If we don't have Psychic Energy, we can't do it. We need a Scoop Up Net, Psychic Energy, Ball Sorter, Flapple. 4 different pieces. Look at that. And we actually managed to do it. And a Claydol evolution as well. That's 5 pieces. That's quite lucky, isn't it? Well, not too lucky though, because we actually draw a lot with our Gourmandise, so that's the power of Snorlax. If your opponent don't play a Marnie on the next turn, Snorlax is gonna give you a huge boost. And now they're down to 2 basic Rowlets. They may do a Rare Candy this turn. Raihan, they can do a Raihan to attack already, but they can't do a knockout just yet. So the reason I bench Manaphy early is because they could do a Bird Keeper. Windshard. Windshard is super annoying. Windshard does, I think, 60 damage, if I'm not mistaken. 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which is a lot. They can kill the Applin, they can almost kill our 𝘿𝐿𝐼. Fortunately, I chose the 70 HP one. Okay, we're gonna play our stadium right now, I think. Let's just do it. They probably have Turffield Stadium, but if we do it right now, we can actually play a Marnie. We can do it later though, if we shuffle the deck with a item card, we can get the stadium card back out without that much of a problem. It wouldn't be that much of a problem. So we could have done a one-hit knockout. We could have won the game right here, but I did not realize that 90 damage is enough. 90 damage is enough to kill the Dartrix. Oh, we couldn't do it because we can't evolve the second Flapple. My bad. If we evolved the second Flapple, we could have knocked out the active with damage counters and then did our 90 damage on the Dartrix, collecting the win right there. But we can't evolve the second one. And they just conceded because they got frustrated. We got our first 3 prize and they got nothing. So they can't hit the bench, they only do 90 damage on our active. Claydol is surviving on the next turn, so I suppose that's why. But if they don't bench anything though, we can't actually knock them out. They probably have to bench something though, right? We just need 2 more Flapple actually. Oh, we actually have 2 damage counter on it already. That means we just need 2 more Flapples. 90 plus 20, 110. Yeah, we just need to evolve both the Applins on our bench to kill the active on the next turn if they evolve into the stage 2. Okay, we got our Gourmandise, that's great. We got 1 apple and a VIP pass. If you don't get a VIP, you're bound to get a Quick Ball or Level Ball, or at least, your basic Pokemons on your bench, the raw basics. Because we're playing so many copies. 4 VIP, 4 Quick Ball, 2 Level Ball. Level Ball helps you get your evolution as well, Flapple. So quite versatile. Not too strong though, because Level Ball doesn't work for Claydol. But, it's good enough. So we are forced to discard our 1 copy of Flapple with our research, so that we get to draw a big hand. And we want to be attaching the Twin Energy right now. We should have searched our deck for a second 𝘿𝐿𝐼 and then attach the Experience Share to the 𝘿𝐿𝐼. But I actually did the Snorlax, which is quite... I don't want to say silly, because Snorlax can still do enough damage to kill them at the last minute. If we do enough of Flapple's ability, we can do the knockout hit. So don't underestimate your Snorlax, as I said. The Snorlax can be a beast sometimes. So we actually only drew 1 card with Gourmandise, which is ridiculous, but 1 is better than none, right? We bench another 𝘿𝐿𝐼. So if we scoop up the active, we can do 180 damage on the V card right now. Let's hope they don't evolve, then we get to knock it out on the next turn. If we get a support card, obviously. We need to evolve our Claydol, and they just evolved. We need to evolve a second Flapple. If we did a double evolution, we already got our scoop up net. We can actually kill the active Kingler, but they just benched another one, my bad. That means we need an extra Pokemon on the bench. So we need quite a lot of pieces to make Claydol work. So they're doing bubbles galore right now, which is annoying. They did a Skyla for a boss. So they are targeting one of our bench on the next turn. We got no Marnie in our hand, so they get to stick with the Skyla. They stick with the boss. I think it's a Kingler, Kingdra deck. Kingler with Kingdra. I'm pretty sure it's Popsicle Knights deck. Popsicle Knights. Kingler, Kingdra with 𝘿𝐿𝐷. I built the Kingler, Kingdra first. I just want everyone to know that I built this deck first. Kingler with Kingdra. I posted it online as well. I posted it on YouTube first, and then he posted it like a few hours later. So we actually built the deck at the same time, kind of like on the same day, and then I posted it first a bit earlier, like about 12 hours earlier though. So my deck have 4 copies of Kingdra. His deck only has 2 copies of Kingdra. He has like a very different mix. You know, his strategy is always weird because he likes to mix a lot of different cards, and you know, he likes a toolbox deck. He likes a very toolbox deck so that you get to you know, pull out anything whenever you need. He has a 𝘿𝐿𝐷, which is actually quite interesting because if you're up against any deck, if you're facing against a 1-price deck, you can still win. You still stand a good chance at winning. If you're facing a VMAX deck, you still stand a good chance at winning. But it's kind of you know, it's like not really too strong though. I would say you stand a chance of winning if you're up against any deck, but you don't have a solid chance of winning. I prefer a solid chance as opposed to, you know, a bigger target. You're targeting a bigger net of opponent. I choose to target like only VMAX decks or something like that. So this deck is not strong against 1-price, but this Claydol deck is strong against VMAX or V decks because we're doing so much damage. We just need to collect at least 2 prize with each copy of our Claydol because we don't have that many to spare. We're not playing Toolbox here, we're playing nothing but Claydol and Flapple. As for the Kingler, my Kingler deck only has nothing but Kingler and Kingdra. No energy recyclers, we have no 𝘿𝐿𝐷𝓐𝐿, we have no... What else don't we have? We have a Manaphy, we don't have our 𝘿𝐿𝐷, we don't have Cheryl, so they play a Cheryl because they actually get to recycle and then do a Bubbles Galore second time. Do a second Bubbles Galore to get back the energy after the recycler. But you need to get the recycler though. If you Cheryl and if you don't get the recycler at the same time, then you can't actually do it. I suppose that's why they have Skyla. I don't know why Skyla is there. I think they're playing Rare Candy. Skyla for Rare Candy is interesting, but I don't think it's that strong because you can't do anything else. You can't... I don't think it's that powerful. I would play just 1 copy. I wouldn't play 2 copies of Skyla in any deck. I think 2 copies is a bit stupid. And they have to damage themselves with their attack, which is great. It actually falls in line with our attack because we are placing a few damage counters with our Flapple, and we actually get to do 180 right now. So if they don't play a Cheryl at the right time, they're done. They only have 1 copy inside the deck. It's a Popsicle Knights deck. They only have 1 copy of Cheryl inside the deck. 32 cards left inside the deck. So let's hope they don't get it. Okay, we got a level ball. We're just gonna bench. We should be we shouldn't be benching anything because we have to keep the numbers alive. So that means we got an experience share on a Snorlax that allows us to attack with Body Slam the next turn. They're damaging themselves this turn. If they want to do a knockout, they are forced to damage themselves by 30. That means we just need to Flapple to collect a VMAX knockout if they don't do a Cheryl. If they do a Cheryl, they are still done though because we got to do 180 on next turn after the Bubbles Galore. They need to Cheryl and Recycler at the same turn, on the same fucking turn. That's how stupid this deck is. I mean, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. If you don't get your Recycler at the same time, it's not gonna work. Okay, we're gonna do our Apple Drop and we're just gonna Body Slam at the same time. That means we got to do a 4-prize draw this turn, which is insane. This is madness. So thanks to Max Pincer, they are actually helping us collect the VMAX knockout. Without the Cheryl, we are safe. They got their Wailord though, so Wailord is gonna be their failsafe. If all else fails, we actually get to kill it with damage counter as well. That means Kingdra's ability doesn't. If they have a Kingdra on the bench, they didn't even have one. That's why I play 4 copies. If you play 4 copies of Horsey, you're much likely to have at least one on your bench from the early on in the game. If you have VIP Pass, we have VIP Pass in our deck. In my Kingler Kingdra deck, we have 4 copies of VIP Pass to help us bench fast and evolve with Rare Candy fast. We want to be doing it fast, so that after the bubbles galore, we have at least one Kingdra on the bench. So even if they have a Kingdra on their bench, they still can't use the Deep Sea King ability because we actually knocked them out with damage counters. We killed the Kingler with damage counters. So that's the bad thing about Kingler, is that you have to damage yourself, and sometimes if you attack too many times, you may actually forget and kill yourself with the attack. If you kill yourself, you can't use Deep Sea King to reattach your water energy cards to your Kingdra. So right now they're using this failsafe. They're using their failsafe V card, the Wailord, to attack high HP V card. So we definitely can't heal it with. We definitely can't kill the Wailord with one hit because it's a 280 HP massive Pokemon. Unless we play a Lightning type. So we're just gonna focus on doing our Body Slam, and then attached to this Claydol, we should be attaching a Twin Energy at the same time. But we actually chose to... Oh, we couldn't attach a second energy, my bad. Okay. That means if they knock us out on the next turn, and do a Marnie at the same time, we just need one energy, right? They can't possibly do a Marnie and a Tool Scrapper. If they do that, we're done. If they Marnie and Tool Scrapper, we're so dead. Okay, they finally got their Horsey way too late. Look at that. The silly Horseys have not yet evolved, not even a Seadra. This is ridiculous. Popsicle Knight is an idiot. Popsicle Knight is an idiot. I'm not sure why everybody is like watching his video. His videos are stupid. His decks are so weak. His decks are so weak. It's so damn bloody weak. So we don't have a Flapple, otherwise we could have done a knockout. If we have a Flapple, or if we don't bench our Applin on the last turn, we could have killed the Wailord, but we were actually expecting them to knock us out. If they knock out the Snorlax this turn, on their last turn, then we could have done a coinciding figures to collect the knockout. So let's just retreat right now. We got a Marnie, we're probably gonna get our Flapple right now. If we don't, we can actually kill it with 90 base damage, so it's the same thing. We're just gonna get all the basics out and then Marnie to put them at the bottom so that we get fresh new cards. You know, a level ball for Flapple, and they just conceded. Popsicle Knight lost. We won Popsicle Knight again. His useless deck. His decks are so useless, guys. I mean, I can't stress it enough. He likes to play a toolbox deck, you know, targeting a big variety of decks. But it's like Jack of all trades and Master of none. He's a Jack of all trades and Master of none. You can't actually be that weak against all decks. You have a fair chance of winning, but not a solid one, you know? I prefer a solid strategy. Because if you get a win, if you hit a win with that deck, then you actually have a very satisfying win. If you hit a loss, if you lose with that deck, then it's kind of, you know, it's an expected loss because you weren't actually supposed to win against those kind of decks. You know, for example, if you play a Zacian without your coding energy, if you play a Zacian without enough coding energy or something like that, you're not gonna win against a Victini. Like, there's nothing to feel bad about if you're up against a Victini, right? But if Popsicle Knight builds a Zacian deck, he's definitely gonna add other types in there. He's gonna add other attackers that are not metal types to target a wide variety of decks. That's how he plays Pokemon. That's a very stupid strategy if you ask me. I mean, if you add 1 or 2 copies of those cards, it's gonna be super smart. That's the ideal case. The super smart person would add 1 or 2 copies of those cards, but he adds like 1 or 2 copies of all different types of cards. He's putting everything into the mix, every single fucking thing. A Cheryl, a Recycler, a fucking it's putting everything in there. It's insane. Wailord as well. Glimwood Tangle. I mean, if you have a VMAX, you don't need a Glimwood Tangle. I actually had that. I had that stadium card when I first built my Kingler, but decided against it because it's not necessary. If you evolve, it's actually better. You don't have to flip the coin. Even if you don't evolve, you still have to flip 2 coins, which is not a guaranteed heads. It's not guaranteed they're gonna flip a heads after the 2 coins, so it's never certain. Even if you get a second shot. Okay, they got a heads, which is horrible. That means they get to avoid the knockout on the next turn. We can't do 90 damage for the win, but that's fine. We're just gonna drag the game out. Can we place damage counters on them? I'm pretty sure we can, because I think it only says prevent all effects and damage done by your opponent's Pokemon's attacks. I don't think it says anything about... So we're gonna raihan right now, actually, by retreating. So we get to search for maybe a Snorlax or something. We actually decided to do withdraw with our active Applin, so that we get to counter them. You know, give them a taste of their own medicine, because they did a hard roll flipping a heads. If we flip a heads right now, we get to give them a taste of their own medicine. We should have evolved the bench though. I don't know why I did that. If we evolved the bench, we could have kept... we could have done 2 damage counters later. And they just evolved. So we got a scoop on that. That means we can scoop up the Farfetch. So we have a Farfetch for this list. This is the earlier version one. Farfetch actually help you collect the knockout after your first Claydol. After Claydol does its attack, you can actually do Twin Energy on your Farfetch or Experience Share, Raihan for the extra energy. You just need 2 energies to satisfy its attack cost, and if you get to do 10 extra damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. That means if they have 18 damage counter, you get to do 18 plus 30 base. That's already enough to kill a VMAX. 360 total plus 30 base. So that's 390. Enough to kill a 𝘿𝙚𝓚 with a Abomasnow. But if they have a Big Charm though, you still can't do it, right? Abomasnow and Big Charm. 𝘿𝙚𝓚 with Abomasnow without Big Charm. You can't kill that. So Farfetch is definitely, you know, definitely deserves to be inside this deck. But I chose not to have it. So we're just gonna research here, get our Claydol out. We're probably gonna get it, right? We have 4 incense. I think we have 4 Claydols in this deck. Yep, we actually have 4 copies. So this is the earliest version. It eventually, as the game progresses, I decided against having 4 copies because it doesn't work as well. I actually have less energy cards in this deck, and a lot of games I couldn't pull out the energies. So that's why eventually I decided on only 3 copies. Just because we need to bench so many things. We need a lot of Applins to help us warn our opponent that we can actually bench our Pokemons. So if they see a lot of bench, they're probably going to bench a lot from the get-go. If they choose not to, if they still choose not to, we can actually evolve and reduce Pokemons from our bench with that ability, unless they play losing. So we kill a Salamence. We kill a Salamence and they don't have anything on the bench. So 180 is enough to kill any stage 2, except for Torterra. Torterra actually has 190 HP. Torterra and Rillaboom, the very first Rillaboom from Sword and Shield. But you get to kill it with just 1 Applin though. If you have your Apple drop 1 copy, you can target the active and then do your coinciding figures, 180 damage plus 20. That's enough. So now we're up against a Greedent V. A Greedent V Fire deck. A Fire normal colorless box. They're playing Talonflame. Talonflame is a colorless fire type. It's a fire flying. So it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Talonflame and Heatmore. They are playing a Victini as well. I'm giving off spoilers, but yeah, they have a Victini. We're gonna do Gormandize right now, and they're probably gonna put Talonflame. what's it called again? Fletchling, Fletchinder, and Talonflame. I really like Fletchling. I think Fletchinder is okay, but Talonflame just looks a bit weird. It doesn't look like the evolution at all. It looks like the evolution of Fletchinder, but it doesn't look like it came from the baby. The baby basic looks completely different from the Talonflame. Fletchling looks so. It looks like a species of its own, a different kind of bird. Okay, we're gonna do Marnie right now. We could actually do a scoop on that and then bench another one. I don't think we're gonna get our. If we do a scoop, we're probably gonna put our Applin because I don't think we're gonna get Twin Energy that easily with a Marnie. Okay, we got no energies. That's horrible. We're just gonna play our Applin, evolve a few cards, and then draw as much as we can with Snorlax. So we're very slow for this game. A bit slower than usual. All thanks to Marnie as usual. Marnie destroys our hand. We normally play Research to start off our hand, but if you have too many cards in your hand, too many supporters, you can't afford to discard all of them. So that's why Marnie is gonna save you. But Marnie puts them at the bottom though. That means you need to shuffle your deck to basically help you later on. And we don't have many item cards to shuffle the deck, but we shuffled our deck with the Incense though, just now. So I don't think we get to complain. We're just gonna discard an Applin. They just Avery'd us, which is horrible. It's the worst feeling ever when your opponent plays an Avery and you are playing a one-price deck. Okay. Birdkeeper. We're gonna do our first coinciding figures. 90 damage is enough to knock it out. Are we gonna do that though? I think it's better just to wait. We should be waiting. We got our boss order. We can actually do a boss on the next turn. Because if we do our Claydol right now, we can do a Raihan later. But if we... Oh, I actually chose to not retreat, because if we put Snorlax back on the active, then we can't retreat that easily. So if we have a Flapple, we can actually save... If we have Flapple in the active spot, we can actually save our Claydol on the bench and then retreat later if they don't knock it out. If they knock out our Flapple, we get to use our Claydol still, so it doesn't matter. They just played a Gordy. I don't think that card has a lot of... I don't think many people play that card, but it's interesting, isn't it? Gordy, look at the top 8 cards. I think it's 7 cards by that. The top 7 cards of your deck, put as many energy cards as you can find there into your hand. If you have a draw system like Bibarel, I think Gordy is gonna help you. Gordy for your energy cards, and then Bibarel to kind of draw the other cards that you need. Evolution, bench basics, other item cards, yada yada yada. Tool cards, stadium. Okay, we're gonna do our rod for 2 Pokemons. We're gonna Raihan. We can actually get a Twin Energy, but we're forced to get a basic right now because we can't do 180 without the basic. So that's the bad thing. Now we're forced to do a Twin Energy search for the next Claydol. If we can't get a Twin Energy by the next turn, we're done. Oh, they can't actually do a knockout though, because Victini is doing 100 damage. Only 100 damage if we are not a... If you don't play any V cards, they're only doing 100 damage to non-rule box Pokemons. Or even a GX. If you're a V card, only then do they get to do 220. So Victini is quite weird. You get to do 220 to the V star as well though, so it's not bad. V star, V card, V union, everything. I wonder what they're gonna come up with next. We have EX, GX, VMAX. I wonder what's the next power card. What's the next rule box Pokemon? For Scarlet and Violet, right? Can't wait for that. I really can't wait for Scarlet and Violet TCG. I don't really care about the Nintendo game. I prefer, I care more about the TCG, to be honest. Scarlet and Violet TCG live. By then we would have PTCGL for everything. PTCGL is a bit annoying though, because you can't trade. There's no more trading system. We have instead the crystal system. You have to earn your crystals to unlock certain cards, and you only get up to 4 copies. You can't have more than 4 copies. That means you can't trade. You're not allowed to trade for cards. You're not allowed to go to the market. Public trade, private trade is all banned, which is horrible. And they're playing a Stoutland. They have 2 different stage 2. Look at that. I don't think they have a Talonflame yet because they just evolved to the stage 1. But they have the stage 2 Stoutland colorless Pokemon. They had a Victini VMAX. So many Pokemons though. So many different Pokemons. And yet they somehow managed to attach enough energies. I don't think we are doing our attacks fast enough. That's why they actually get to kill us that easily with such a weird deck. They're playing a really weird box here, but I think they don't need that much energy, I don't think. So they actually get to attach from the prize card a treasure energy, which is quite cool, isn't it? That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Treasure energy, wow. Same as your Dream Ball. I think it's from the same expansion as well. Not sure which expansion that is. I think Evolving Skies. Treasure Energy and Dream Ball. If you draw it from your prize, you get to play it immediately after drawing it. Same as your Jirachi. Put it onto your bench. What's it called again? Prism Star. Jirachi Prism Star. And then you get to draw an extra one, I think. If you drew a Jirachi from the prize, you get to draw another prize card. If you have a bench spot open for that Jirachi. If you don't have a bench spot open, you can't actually draw a second prize. Anyways, let's focus on the game right now. So let's get an Applin, bench that. I'm actually quite loving this deck because we actually get to do our Flapple every single turn. If we can draw enough cards into our hand, we can keep benching that and shuffle, bench shuffle, and constantly place damage counter on our opponent's Pokemon. Doing extra snipes. You can actually hit anything with 2 damage counters using your Flapple's ability. So we just did a Bruno for 7 cards. Okay. Now we get to do Apple Drop. And then evolve the second one. Oh, we actually have to do that the next turn. So 180. So if they don't evolve, we get to kill the Greedent, collect the 2 prize, and then we just need a final knockout. 1 final prize to collect the win. We got a boss order ready to go. That means we don't actually have to kill. We don't have to kill the Stoutland. I don't think we can, because we need the Flapple for the Greedent. Stoutland has the ability that reduces damage done to your Pokemon by your opponent's attacks by 30 damage if your Stoutland is in the active spot. So if they do like a snipe, a bench snipe, if they do a jump bluff, all of your opponent's attack does 30 less damage to all of your Pokemons. So it's the same as your double turbo damage reduction. Double turbo does less damage to the bench as well. This ability protects their bench as well. But Stoutland has to be in the active spot though. So if we do a boss, they can't actually reduce damage anymore. Okay, we're just gonna do our Flapple. Hopefully we get a Claydol from the prize. If we get a Claydol from the prize, we can do a boss. And that's it, right? We don't need to do anything else. We just need to bench something right now. Because they have 2 bench still, we just need to bench 1. We even got a Snorlax, so we did not need to use the quick ball, but it's better just to bench the other one. because we don't need a second Snorlax in play. Okay, that's the good thing about having Flapple, because you get to put it as the new active. If they knock out any one of your Pokemon on your opponent's last turn, then you get to put your Flapple as the new active Pokemon, and then basically bench, put a surprise bench. If you have a Farfetch, you can actually do a surprise hit by benching it on the same turn, and then essentially retreating to your Farfetch with that Apple Drop ability, giving you a free retreat and that extra 2 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon, or any one of their Pokemon actually. 2 damage counter, you get to place them on any one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not in any way you like, you only get to place it on one Pokemon, but it's 2 damage counter, which is quite a lot. So we got a Claydol from the prize, that means we get to do it. We get to do our Ball Sorter, Scoop Up Net, and we got just the right amount to kill one bench. We can't actually kill the 𝘿𝐿𝐴 because it does 30 damage reduction. So we need 190 to knock it out. We're only doing 180. So we need another Flapple to collect the knockout. And that's going to be a bit more difficult because we don't have a supporter card in our hand. We need to use a 𝘿𝐿𝐴 for the second Flapple, for the final Flapple. So it's going to take a few turns, but I think they have 3 prize remaining. I don't think they can win that easily. So we actually needed to use a Ball Sorter just now. We had to target a different basic Pokemon, a different 1 prize. Because 𝘿𝐿𝐴 is staying alive. It's too powerful. It's too, what do you call that? Sturdy. Okay, now we're up against a fighting deck. A fighting grass deck. I think they have a Breloom in this one. There we go. A 𝘿𝐿𝐴 and a Breloom. Okay, we're gonna do VIP pass. Get a Snorlax and a Beltoy. Bird Keeper. Attach the energy Bird Keeper 𝘿𝐿𝐴. Let's do experience share on the active. Should we do that? Let's just keep it in our hand. I don't know what to do here. I don't think we can draw any cards. I don't think we need to spend anything. If we evolve, we should be drawing something though, because we need a twin energy to attack on the next turn. So we definitely should have played our incense, but we need that incense if we want to shuffle back our Applin. So I really don't know what to do here. I don't really know what's the best move. We should have done 1 Scoop Up Net maybe. Waste 1 Scoop Up Net to draw 1 card. I don't think we need to worry too much about wasting 1 experience share. We have 1 more and an extra raihan inside the deck as well. So should have drawn at least 1 or 2 cards with 𝘿𝐿𝐴. Okay, they did a Sonia. Could be drawing energies, but they just attached, so probably gonna draw basic Pokemons now. If they bench 2 cards, we're gonna have to bench more, which is gonna be a bit annoying because we got no supporter cards. No support draw. Okay, it's a Zarude. Zarude is always annoying because we're not doing a 1-hit knockout, so Zarude can completely erase the amount of damage that we do. But it can't heal from itself though, that's the good thing. That's the limitation for Zarude. That means if it can't heal, so we're gonna scoop up the active and then evolve, put Flapple as the new active, and then bench the Snorlax. Should we bench the Snorlax? I think we should, because we still need to draw the next turn. If we play a research, I don't think we need to though, because we have a lot more support cards inside the deck, and not the Snorlax as well. But we may not get a basic with the research. So we're gonna scoop it up right now, and oh my god, I actually did that. That's weird. Now we are forced to bench the Snorlax, right? Let's just do the experience share on the Snorlax. I think that's the best move. Are we gonna escape rope first? Should we target the... I don't think we should, because they have counter. We should be placing damage counter on the Breloom until we can knock it out with 1 hit. because we don't want them to do counter. Okay, back to Zarude. Zarude, that's the limitation. If you kill it, if you damage it, they can't heal from itself. That means they're gonna need their supporter cards, trainer cards to heal from the Zarude, or maybe Celebi VMAX, Star Bloom, any other abilities. Indeedee as well, Indeedee V. And we actually get to kill the Doduo, that's great. 200 damage, 1 Flapple Apple Drop. Okay. So, I don't think they have a Raihan. If they play a Raihan, they can actually knock out the Claydol right now. And then we're down to nothing on the bench. Nothing but a Snorlax. So this is very annoying, because they're gonna do counter, either gonna do counter or heal back with their bloody Zarude. I think we should do a boss right now. If we do a boss, we can target the Zarude, kill it off before dealing with that Breloom. But they just need 1 energy to retreat though, so I'm not sure if that's the smartest decision. If they do a Bird Keeper switch, they can actually kill us on the next turn. If they do a retreat, they can't kill us. So we shouldn't have done a boss. We should have at least benched 𝘿𝙘�𝐻𝑚 if we want to do the boss, but I did not have the foresight. We should definitely have benched the 𝘿𝙘𝓉, because we weren't even gonna knock it out this turn. We weren't even gonna do 180 this turn, so might as well did a 𝘿𝙘𝓉. And they just did a Bird Keeper. Like, there we go, Bird Keeper. Okay, they're doing 130 damage, killing the Claydol with 1 hit. Macross, Mac Punch, Cross Fist, Macross. So Cross Fist is Rapid Strike, Macross is Single Strike. But Cross Fist is so much more powerful, right? Counter is not bad. If you have Obama Snow, you need to protect it from the weakness though. I mean, Grass type is weak towards Fire. Fire is a big thing now. Charizard V-Star. You got your Magmortar deck. Victini VMAX. Chandelier is still not that powerful, I don't think. So we actually had to do a research to discard the Claydol. We got a Rod, so we don't need to worry too much. I think we have to bench a second 𝘿𝙘𝓉. I think that's safer. So we're gonna do our Quick Ball, Rod Quick Ball, and then Gourmandize. Definitely gonna bench a second 𝘿𝙘𝓉, right? If we shuffle back a second Claydol, then we can't bench the second one that easily. We actually have another 𝘿𝙘𝓉 inside the deck, I think. Sorry, another Claydol. I'm not too sure actually. I think we have both. We have 1 𝘿𝙘𝓉 and 1 Claydol remaining in the prize. Okay, let's just focus on this one. I'm mumbling to myself. So let's do a Gourmandize. We're gonna Apple Drop, prepare for a 1-hit knockout on the Breloom. If they heal though with Zarude, I don't know what to say. They need 2 energies though. They need 2 energies for Jungle Rising. So it's gonna take a while for Zarude to be able to heal or even do damage unless you do a double turbo. Double turbo only does, I think it only does 50 minus 20. So the first attack is not doing much. They don't get to heal, they don't get to attach energy with the first one. Okay, we got an Applin though. We didn't get a second 𝘿𝙘𝓉. But Snorlax is gonna die, so we should have done a second 𝘿𝙘𝓉. Not sure why I did an Applin, because they could quite possibly do a boss or escape rope boss to kill the 𝘿𝙘𝓉. More likely to do a boss, because they have actually so many cards in your hand. I think I was a bit tired at this point in the game. We're up against a Fighting Mushroom. And the Fighting Mushroom killed our Snorlax for the second prize. We're down to 4 prize on both players' end. We got Claydol for 180, enough to knock out the Breloom this turn. We're gonna do our Flapple drop 2 damage counters on the Zarude. I think it's enough. 180 is enough, right? Yep, it's enough to kill the Breloom, so we don't need to place 2 damage counter on the Breloom. We just need to do 180 to knock it out. And we're checking, and we're placing. We're dropping. So now we just need a second Flapple and 90 damage on the Zarude to win the game. We don't even need to be bothered about the amount of Pokemon cards on the bench, because they could quite easily start benching a billion cards on their, this turn. If they bench 5 cards this turn, we can't actually do 180, but we can evolve and knock out the Zarude. So they can't even do a knockout this turn. If they play a 𝘿𝐿𝐴𝐷, they can do it, or a Leon. So never underestimate a jumbled up deck. It's a jumbled up deck. It's a bit of a mess of a deck, but I suppose it's a grass fighting box, because they are playing so many different types of Pokemons. So many different Pokemons, not different types, only 2 types. But Jungle Rising actually does a lot though, because it helps you attach energy to your bench. 2 basic energy, any type of 2 basic energies from your hand, and you get to heal all damage heal all damage if you attach any energies in that way to any Pokemons. If you attach 1 energy to 2 Pokemons, you get to heal all damage from 2 of your bench Pokemons. So Zarude is quite broken if you ask me. If you play Rillaboom Voltage Beat with it as well, I mean, it's super annoying. Voltage Beat, Zarude, and 𝘿𝐿𝐴𝐷, like, people keep spamming that deck, and it works so well because it's like super meta. Rillaboom Voltage Beat with 𝘿𝐿𝐴𝐷 alone, if you don't play a fire type, you have no hope of winning, unless you can somehow block them from healing with a Mimikyu or Dina Tree Heal at the right time. They're playing so many stadium cards though, but Rillaboom needs to evolve with a rare candy, and Zarude needs 2 energies. We need to switch into the active spot as well. We are playing a VMAX, so that's a lot of Pokemon cards to manage. It's a lot to juggle, so not always possible to do everything. We could have done a knockout, but I actually didn't realize that. We could have killed the Lycanroc with our Apple Drop. I'm not sure why we didn't do that. Oh well, that was quite silly. I mean, we already won on that turn, but we didn't use the ability. Okay, they got Bailout Virizion. Is it Virizion or Virizion or Virizion? I don't know how to pronounce that card. That Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon? Pikachu! It's Pikachu! Everything's Pikachu. A single strike Pikachu. There should be a single strike and a rapid strike Pikachu. And a fusion strike Pikachu. That would be so cool, right? Like a single strike Morpeko or something. Any Pokemon that is like the signature of Pokemon Sword and Shield signature. The cute signature for Sword and Shield. I think Morpeko is the signature, right? The Pikachu equivalent for Gala. So Morpeko, single strike. There is actually a single strike one, but there should be a rapid strike Morpeko as well, a lightning one, and then a fusion strike Morpeko lightning as well. I don't think Fusion Strike has a Dark Pokemon. So Dark type is only confined to Single Strike because it's Dark and Fighting. And Water type is only confined to Rapid Strike because it's, you know, Flow is the Zen mode, Super Flow. And we just collected the last 2 prizes for the win. I'm talking a lot about the strikes, but I'm a bit obsessed. So that's all for this list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, we actually have another game. Sorry guys, I thought it's over. So we won against a box deck, a grass box with Lycanroc and Zarude with Breloom as well. We killed a Zarude, Breloom, and a Dodrio. So that's a really weird box deck that they're playing. They don't need a lot of energies, they just need like 2 energies to attack with Dodrio as well, because if they have a Rapid Strike energy, they can attack 160 on the next turn. No reprieve for 80 extra damage. 240 damage on the next turn with Rapid Strike energy on the Dodrio. Or double turbo as well. So double turbo does 20 less, so 220 damage is not bad. Dodrio. Okay, we're gonna do VIP pass for our Beltoy and let's get an Evelyn. I think this is the last game. Pretty sure this is the last one. I'm quite tired already. Okay. They have an Alakazam deck box. A Mega Alakazam. Indeedee V. Indeedee, the female Indeedee with the healing capacity. We're gonna do a Marnie and Level Ball maybe. Are we gonna Level Ball? Are we gonna bench? Are we just gonna Gormandize? We're just gonna discard that one. Let's get another Applin just because we can. We actually have 3 copies of Flapple in the deck, so I don't think it's that difficult to evolve it. If we get to scoop up on the next turn, Twin Energy, Claydol, evolve 3 Flapples, we can already win. Unless they bench something. Okay, they're benching something right now. They're playing a Shubat Banette deck. I think they have a Abomasnow because they're healing their Pokemon. If they pass the turn with 10 HP remaining on the Banette, it's called a Banette. I recently learned how to pronounce the stage 1 Pokemon, Shupat's evolution. So Banette does 70 damage, plays 7 damage counters on itself to do 140 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that means passing the turn, it has 10 HP remaining unless you heal your Pokemon with Indeedee, Lucky Ice Pop, stuff like that. So I could actually play Banette with heal cards. I may actually build a deck from Banette quite soon because this is inspiring me to think a lot, giving me a lot of ideas. Banette with Abomasnow and heal cards. Very interesting. I'm not gonna play Indeedee obviously, but I'm gonna play other type of heal cards. Because Indeedee is a V card, is not good because if your opponent Boss Order or do a Moltres, they can actually kill Indeedee with 1 hit. 180 is not a lot. It's like the worst support Pokemon ever because it only heals 20, but it's every turn though. You get to do 20 damage recovery every single turn. It's not bad, but I mean, it's a V card. That means your opponent can kill it with a VMAX Rapid Flow. Even if you don't have a Manaphy, you can kill it quite easily with Rapid Flow, Passimian, Telescopic Sight. If you don't do a Cape, if you don't do a Big Charm on it, if you just basically use it for support. So we're gonna do Apple Drop right now. We can actually kill... I actually decided not to kill the Shupat because if I do the Shupat knockout, we can't do 180 damage anymore. So we have to keep the Shupat alive. We have no choice but to. And we have to actually shuffle back all the Applin, all the Flapples, use up all the ability. Otherwise, we can't do a Indeedee knockout. So we are forced to damage the Indeedee before doing our coinciding figures for 180 damage, which is enough to knock out a V card. Drawing our first 2 prize, and now we get to kill Banette with raw 90 damage. We don't even need to have the same Pokemons on the bench as our opponent. Coinciding figures for the win, 90 damage, that's enough. No Abomasnow, no Cape, no Capes. And we won against Banette Heal deck. Interesting. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.